Good morning and welcome to yet another FSI YouTube live event. Today we're going to be talking all about how to administer TV4Education. My name is Quentin. I'm going to be your host for the session today. It is a live session, so if you do want to communicate with me, if you do want to ask any questions about anything that we've gone through today, over on the right hand side of your screen there is a chat console. Feel free to chuck your questions in there. I'm going to be monitoring them down here and I'm going to try my very best to answer those for you today. Okay, if you do get distracted in the session, YouTube has a great facility where you can pause the live event and you can re-watch any of those sections. So if you do get interrupted with students or teachers whilst you're trying to watch this training session, you do have that facility. Okay, my name is Quentin. As I said, make sure you chuck those questions in. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. So this event today is all about how to administer TV4Education, specifically for our new TV4Education administrators. Okay, now everyone should have received a welcome email from us, and that welcome email will contain your URL to access your site, the username for you to log in, and a password for you to log in. Okay, if you have not received that, you need to reach out to us at support@functionalsolutions.com.au or ask one of your colleagues who are already an administrator to add you to the systems and then send you that login information. Okay, the URL for your site will be something very similar to what you see on the screen at the top here. Instead of it being SS Demo, it'll be the abbreviation of your school. So it might be St. Mary's.functionalsolution or it might be SJPS. Okay, the URL will be whatever that prefix is, .functionalsolutions.com.au. Now when you hit that URL, you'll see a screen that's very similar to this. Because the system is customizable, you may see some search screens, you may see some different information on the home page, but it'll be very similar to this as far as the toolbar and where all the functions are. Okay, before we can access any of that admin features, we need to log in so the system knows that we are an admin. So top right hand corner of the screen, there is a sign in button. Go ahead and click on that and enter your username and password. Now most of the time, your username will be your school email address. Okay, and then your password. Now, once we log in, the system knows that we are an administrator. So we've now got the ability to go over to our system menu, which is in the top left-hand corner, that little hamburger icon. Okay, and because we are an administrator, we get to see all the other features and functions that are part of the system. Okay, now don't be too overwhelmed if you start seeing things like circulation and stock take in it. TV4Education runs on our Smart Suite library platform. So you don't need to worry if you're just TV4Education, that's fine, just don't click on those modules to access them. Okay. The first thing we're going to be talking about today in the TV4Education admin training is our security. So if you're new to the system, we want to make sure that all the videos have been secured so that your Year 7s aren't watching M-rated movies. Okay, the first thing that we need to do is we need to click on that system menu. We need to come down to configuration, and then we need to click Authority Editor. Okay, and the first part of setting up our security is going to be telling the system what each of our year levels, what their security is going to be. Okay, so when we get to the Authority Editor, from this drop-down box here, we want to change that from audience to class grade. Now, in your class grade list, you should have all of your year levels listed. So it should be, if you're a primary school, prep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you are a high school, it should be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you're combined, obviously prep to 12. And there should be an additional classification, which is staff. Now, if you're not seeing that information in your database right now, it's potentially because we haven't imported your students yet. So what you need to do is to make it easy on yourself, grab a CSV file with your students' first names, surnames, year level, homeroom, and email address if they have one available, and flick that over to our customer service team. What they'll do is they'll import the patrons for you just to get you off the ground. You can then do all the subsequent imports from there. Okay, once that's done, it'll populate this screen for us. Now, if you do see all your year levels listed there, what we need to do is we need to verify that the system has an appropriate security level next to each of those year levels. So I'm going to have a look at the security for my year 2s. And all I need to do is click on the edit icon to the right of that year level, and it loads all that information up for us. Now, the only field that we're really going to be too worried about in TV4Education is the security. 0 means that this user has the ability to see everything that has a security of 0 in the system. Okay, because they're a year 2 student, we may want them to see, instead of just the videos that are rated C for children, we want them to see G for general classification. Okay, so we want to change that from 0 to 2. And we click save. Okay, so best practice with TV4Education security is to set the security to the same numerical value as the year level itself. So if I now go to my year 5s, set the security to 5. Okay, for a high school, we're going to go to year 9s and ensure that that security has been set to 9. So go through the list clicking on each of them, and if it's year 1, set it to 1. Year 2, set it to 2. For preps, leave that at 0, and for your staff and your teachers, set them to 50. 50. Okay, and that's just going to avoid any accidental access to videos, because you've got all your students with a range of 0 to 12, and then your staff are completely on the other end of the scale. They're not accidentally going to be given access, or the students, sorry, aren't going to be given access to those teacher materials accidentally. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to worry about with TV4Education administering it. Setting up what security each of those different classifications have access to. Okay, just to repeat how to get there: system menu, settings, configuration, authority editor. And then once you're in the authority editor, you click on class grade. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do is we need to tell the system when a G video comes in, or an M-rated video comes in, what security we would like that to be assigned to. Now, in the authority editor, we click on the class grade drop-down, and this time we want to select video default security. Okay, we have a list of all the video classifications that are available at the moment, and next to it you can see the security. So in my system we can see that G's have been rated to 0, which means that everybody that has a security of 2 or 4 or 8 or 12 has the ability to see that video. Now, the way that it works in TV4Education is that security level that we set in the class grade edit is the upper limit. So if we set on year 12s that they can see a security of 12, it means that they can also see security of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, if we have a security of 2, it means that that user can only see 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so G rating is telling us that everyone that we had a look at in that previous screen can see all the G rated content. The M rated content has been restricted to all of our year 12s, and MA has been restricted to 50, which is our staff, PG is 9, and R is staff. Okay, because this is a demonstration database, we also have given a couple of additional classifications in there, and that would be for things like in-house training. If we wanted to set that as a specific classification, we can do that here. Okay, so make sure that you're happy with that security here, because as our teachers are going through and they're using the system, the security is going to be inherited, so administrators don't have to worry about quickly going to the catalog and securing videos that may be a little bit too mature for those younger students. Okay, so number one, set your class grade security. Number two, set your video default security. Okay, now once we've done that, we can now jump into how do we look after the users that are in our system. Okay, over on the top left hand side, we're going to click that system menu again. And this time I'm going to go to Patron and then Patron Management. Okay, so obviously, in order for someone to stream any content or search any content from TV4Education, they need to be a user in the system. So Patron Management is where we look after adding new users, changing user information, or deleting those users. Okay, one very, very, very important role on this, important function or field on this screen is the user role field. Okay, now the reason why that is important is because it controls how much access a user has to the system. So if I was adding a new user and I click new down the bottom of the screen, you can see that by default, the system will set it at the lowest security, which is student. And this is to make sure that we don't accidentally give students teacher access, where they can then go and peruse the TV4Education library and watch a couple of previews from all of our R-rated or M-rated content. Okay, so by default, we're always setting it to that student user role. Now, what that means is if you're going and adding a new teacher, so we're giving them a barcode and their first name, putting in their email address, okay, setting that their year level is staff and they look after 10A. If I was to go ahead and click save right now, although that teacher could log in, the only content that they would be able to see would be material that other teachers have approved from the TV4Education library or have watched from the TV4Education library. This particular individual would not be able to go and look at the TV4Education library themselves. Okay, so to apply a teacher role to this user, all that we need to do is click the cross to remove the student role, click on the field to bring up our list of user roles that are available, and select teacher. Now that's going to give them access to the TV4Education search screen. It's also going to give them access to smart classrooms so they can start editing content, adding questions to videos, uploading their own worksheets, connecting with URLs, a whole bunch of features that they can do with the smart classrooms module. Okay, so if we're going ahead and we're happy with the way this looks, now you'll note that I didn't put a security in here. Okay, and the reason behind that is because we have gone and set the security in the configuration menu. When I hit save, it's going to inherit that security for us. So it's nice and easy. We don't have to worry about changing that on this screen. Okay, one other thing, before we hit save, you'll notice that there is an email login option. And that's always going to be ticked by default. And what that's going to do is if I hit save, it's going to automatically generate a password for this user. And it's going to send this user a welcome email. And that welcome email will contain the URL, username, and password for that user to log into the system. So you don't need to worry about writing it down for them. It's all going to be emailed. If you don't want that to happen, go ahead and untick that and then hit save. Okay, if I leave that ticked and click save right now, okay, you've got that error message. Which I've just seen there that it's not coming up on the screen. Okay, on my system here though, it's saying password is not set. Smart Suite's going to generate a random one and send it to the patron. So I'm going to go OK to that. It starts saving the patron information. It'll flick that email off to the user. It's saved that user in the database, and everyone can go back to doing what they need to do. Okay, nice and easy. If the user forgets their password, they do have the ability to go forgot my password on the login screen. And just like every other system that is out there worldwide, it's going to flick them an email. They click the link, they can reset their password. Okay, if they come to you and they want you to do it for them, click on Find down the bottom, locate that user, and then you've got Change Password there. Okay. If that user has forgotten the URL and the username for them to be able to log into the system because it's been a while since they logged in, you've also got email login, and that's going to send that same email off to them again. Okay, if that teacher or student has left the school and you want to cut their access so you're not breaching any of your screen rights licensing or terms and conditions with TV4Ed, once again, click Find and locate that user, and then click the delete button, and that's going to remove them from the system. Okay, once they're removed, they're no longer able to log in, and they won't be able to access any of that content. Okay, now obviously we do have a bulk import facility. Okay, so under Patron, we have Smart Patron Import. That's going to allow you to bring in all of your students and your teachers in a 30-second import. Okay, when your start of year procedure comes around and we need to roll all of your users into the next year levels, there's no complicated function that you need to globally update users. Grab that CSV file and load it into the system, and the system will do the rest for you. Okay, we're not going to go through that today because we are going to be focusing on the beginner training of TV4Education, but make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell, because when we do go through those training sessions, you'll get notification of it. Okay, so as far as user management goes, very, very easy. Under the system menu, patron management, and that's where you control all that information. Now don't forget, I am live today, so over on the right hand side of your screen there is that chat console. If you do have any questions for me, I'm monitoring it here. Flick them up and I'll be able to answer them today. Okay, in the latest release of TV4Education, one facility that we have introduced is our new interest areas. Now, the interest areas are going to help our TV4Education team get information to your teachers, that's going to be relevant for the curriculum that they are teaching. So please make sure that when you are registering a new user on the system, you do tell your teachers or encourage them to register their interests when they first log in. Okay, now how they do that is by going to the TV4Education search page. Now the next step is going to be very, very important. Whenever your teachers are trying to find material from TV4Education, they need to make sure that they are going to the TV4Education search page. That's going to give them access to the full 180,000 titles that are in the video collection. If they're going to the schools collection and they're trying to search for maths or ancient Rome or any of those programs that they're trying to teach in the classrooms, they're only going to see what other teachers have watched in the past from your school. So instead of seeing that 180,000 collection, they may only be looking at 4,000 titles if you're a really proactive user with TV4Education. So make sure that you encourage them to always go to the TV4Education search page. Now for a brand new user to TV4Education, so we've just added the teacher, the first thing that's going to happen is when they come to this page, they're going to see a pop-up. Okay, and that pop-up is going to ask them to register their interests. And all they need to do is click to highlight which areas that they are interested in. Okay, so if they're an English and HAS teacher, they go through and select that. Okay, it auto saves as they click, so all they need to do is close that down. From there, the system is going to now tailor the experience to make sure that they're receiving the relevant content through all of their newsletters and their searching. Okay, so it's very, very important that they do go through and fill in those interest areas. Now, whilst they're on this screen here, they've got the ability to click on subjects and search the material via our subject search. Or they can put in search terms at the top. Okay, and then they can toggle between the various libraries that we have in TV4Education. So the TV4Education video library is currently highlighted. That's showing them all the free-to-air, Foxtel, and partnership contents. If I go to lessons, that's going to be showing all the lessons that are available on the same content. And if I go to YouTube, that's showing all of our integration with YouTube. Okay. If the teachers want to watch it, all they need to do is click on the video. That's going to load it up and it's going to start playing that content for them. Okay. If they're wanting to share that with anyone, okay, over on the right-hand side is our toolbar. And within the toolbar, there is a share icon. When they click on that, there's a number of options that they have available to them. Okay, so to make sure that they're not grabbing this video and flicking off to the Year 12 class, who then share it with the Year 7 brother or sister, and they really shouldn't have access to this M-rated program, what the teacher has the ability to do is to build into the URL security. Okay, so this share link should only be available for Year 12s. That URL gets rebuilt. If the video should only be available for a certain amount of time because we've got a new topic that's coming up after that and they really shouldn't have access to this M-rated video beyond this term, they go ahead and set that date in the system sharing as well. And then they can copy that URL and send it to all their students. Okay. So TV4Education is fairly easy to administer once we have gone and set up our class grade security and our video classifications. Okay, from there, we just need to make sure that our teachers are logging in and they're either searching through the content or they're clicking on the videos and playing it in the classroom. Okay, if you need any assistance from us, there are a number of ways that you can get in contact with our customer service team members. The first way is the bottom right-hand corner, this little chat icon. Now, this is a new initiative that our customer service team have introduced in 2021, and it's going to be available for new users to the TV4Education platform. Okay, so if you don't see it on your system, it's probably because you've been with us for a little while and the concierge service isn't available to you just yet. Okay, but it is a live chat to our customer service team members. So it's not an AI, it's not a computer bot. When you're typing in there and saying, please help me, my teachers don't have access to TV4Education search page, they're going to be able to help you straight away and answer those questions for you. Okay, the other way that you can interact with us is by clicking on that system menu, going down to support, and then clicking on contact support. Now this is going to take you over to the mailbox where you can interact with the customer service team members via tickets. Okay, so all these tickets that are listed on the left hand side, they are tickets that you have created in the past, and you can see the whole dialogue with all of those customer service team members. If you want to create a new one, click create a ticket, put your subject in, put your query into our customer service team members, upload any attachments, and then flick that off to us. Okay, this CC field here, this is just a selection list. Okay, so these are users within your system that we have the ability to CC. Okay, if they are not selected or highlighted, they're not going to receive any notification of your ticket. But if you do click and highlight them, they will receive that carbon copy of the support ticket. Okay, so that's second way, to communicate with the customer service team members. Under support, you do also have the search help section. So this is going to take you over to our articles, where you can go through and have a look at articles on how do I set security, local streaming, how do I put in requests, how do I search the content, where do I log in. All of that is here in the TV4Education Smart Help system. You've got access to our training videos. So this is going to take you back to our FSI YouTube channel. So all of the training videos that we're uploading so that all of our users can benefit from them, as well as all the upcoming YouTube live events, they're all going to be listed here on the channel. Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and you click that bell. And that's going to make sure that when we have these events coming up in the future, or we have advanced training sessions or training sessions specifically targeted at features and functions of the system, like the new TV4Education video editor, you will receive notification of that. We also host a number of global events for all of our customers. And they're things like our coffee and chat sessions, where we have an open forum, we have all of our users jump on, ask us questions, and you can interact and meet the various team members here at FSI. They're all going to be published here, and if you hit that bell, you'll receive notification of when they're planned. Okay, the next one down is our FSI User Community. Now, if you are a Facebook user, make sure that you jump on and you apply to be a member of our FSI user group. Now, this user group is made up of Smart Suite Library users, TV4Education users, and users that have both products. Okay, it's an open community, not just for Smart Suite Library or TV4Education. Okay, it is a membership group that has been made up for all of our users across Australia to talk about all things library and education. So we run exclusive promotions to that event. Last week we did a sharing ideas event where one of our users shared how they are engaging their school community and their parents with the library. And that was an exclusive event specifically for this community right here. Okay, so make sure that you do click on that link and be a part of that user group. The last one there is our quick start guide. Now this is a printable version of our quick start guide. Okay, so in here there is everything that we would expect a full user to be able to gain access to within the first 6 months of our system. Okay, now it is going to refer to a couple of library things, so cataloging and circulating, but you do have searching, smart classroom, so creating lessons, clipping videos, adding questions, reporting, user management, and setting up security. Okay, so all of that is part of the Quick Start Guide. Like I said, you can print that off and store that somewhere neatly in the back desk. Okay, so that is about as much as we wanted to cover in today's TV4Education training for new admin users. I hope that you've taken a lot away from the event today. Like I said, if you do have any questions, make sure that you reach out to us via the concierge or the mailbox support tickets. Our team are always happy to help, and we want to make sure that you and your staff are getting the most out of your TV4Education subscription. So any issues or any questions, please make sure that you reach out to us. Okay, my name is Quentin. I really enjoyed hosting you in today's session, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you in some of our future events. Make sure that you do subscribe to the channel so that you know when they're happening. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and we'll catch you next time on YouTube training. Thanks, guys. See you later.